Pierogi Joe here with another authentic Polish recipe. And what we have here is a saute pan and a saucepan. Let's stick on that. Saucepan, that means we're making sauce. Sos Grzybowy, mushroom sauce. And this mushroom sauce can be used to top a variety of things, including kopitka, which is Polish dumplings, which I have on the other videos on this channel. Pierogi Leniwe, which is lazy pierogi, which is also a part of a feature of this trifecta that I'm having with the lazy pierogi and mushroom sauce. I've even had it served on top of pierogi. So there's no limits on what you could do with Sos Grzybowy, mushroom sauce. But without further ado, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is our featured ingredients. All right, we're gonna have 3 cups, about 3 cups. Remember the grandma's theory of about 3 cups of fresh or reconstituted mushrooms. Now, reconstituted mushrooms, I found these. I told you in another video in the kraut mushroom pierogi in one of the bigger wholesale stores that begins with a C, and it consists of the yellow boletus, portobello, oyster mushrooms, and porcini. And then you reconstitute them and you have fresh mushrooms, and they are from Poland. So go check those out. So we have 3 cups of fresh or reconstituted wild type mushrooms. Okay, we have a half an onion chopped, not too finely, a little bit, kind of, but fine enough. Okay, we have 2 tablespoons of butter. And then another half teaspoon, which we're going to use first at the beginning to saute the mushrooms, and then half at the end, because every good sauce and gravy has a little butter put into the end. We're going to have a quarter teaspoon of our sea salt. We're going to have 3 bay leaves. All right, 5 each of lisztorowe, which is I'm sorry, no, lisztorowe is actually bay leaf, but the zielenigelski, which is allspice, and about 4 or 5, maybe 6 of whole peppercorn. We're going to have a teaspoon of minced garlic, and we're going to have 2 cups of the mushroom juice, mushroom stuff, that when we reconstituted those dry mushrooms, you keep it and use it for the sauce, because we're going for a very earthy, mushroomy flavor. And if you don't have that, you can use, preferably best, vegetable stock and then chicken stock. But if you can do that mushroom juice left over from reconstituting your dried mushrooms, please go ahead and do that. A third a cup of heavy whipping cream, 3 tablespoons of flour, and a half a cup of cold water. And as you see, they're already kind of getting together there. And then nice, because they're going to get together. That water and that flour is going to come together, and they're getting a little winter love there. All right, and then we have like I mentioned, the half teaspoon of butter. So without further ado, let's get it on. This is Sos Grzybowy mushroom sauce, and here is your ingredient list. We're going to start with our saute pan, and we're going to turn on the heat into a low medium. Here we go. Ooh, we got the fire. While that saute pan is heating up, we're going to take our mushrooms and we're going to chop them up a little bit. Not too finely, but we definitely want a nice, consistent service of those mushrooms. So we're going to chop them up into a nice little group of square little mushrooms. There we go, chop them up. And there's your mushrooms chopped up. I actually forgot to tell you something during mentioning the ingredients list. I also, you probably saw, you're like, oh, hey, I didn't mention that. I have a little bouquet of thyme, rosemary, and lemon thyme. Yes, thyme and rosemary, very earthy. It's going to complement that earthiness, that earthy flavor of the mushroom sauce. But here's what's really cool. That lemon thyme is going to add a little citrusy tone to it. But if you don't have lemon thyme, that's okay. Do not add lemon juice. It's not the same. The citrusy flavor tone that comes from a lemon thyme is a little bit different. It's an earthy lemon tone, and it's going to complement the earthy, savory dullish taste of the mushrooms. So a little bouquet of rosemary, thyme, and lemon thyme. How about that? Saute pan is going. We're going to put in that 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to wait for that to melt and get ready to accept our onions and chopped mushrooms. Our saute pan is ready. There's the onions. And here come the shrooms. The mushrooms. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm doing the one-handed thing today. So, tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. Watch this. Ready? It's our mushrooms. We're going to saute that for about 10 to 12 minutes until the mushrooms start to not only sweat, but they'll brown a little bit on the edge. Okay, they're in there. Toss them around a little bit. Get them all coated in the butter. All right. Like I said, we're going to do that for about 10 to 12 minutes till they brown up a little bit. They're going to start to sweat, but they'll get a little brown on the edges. During that 10 to 12 minutes, you definitely want to keep stirring it up. You want to toss it around, okay? If you don't have that little skill there, it's actually not a hard skill. If you want to practice it, get a couple marbles or maybe some rocks from the outside. It's okay. You can wash your pan out and go ahead and just put it in there. And you want to push forward and then zip back forward. And so it's usually a little inertia. So go ahead, get a little tossing. I like it because it gives it more of a consistent toss around. But what you want is because you want those mushrooms to brown. And you want those onions to start browning. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. But you can hear that sizzle? Hear it? Yeah. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is some sweat. Those mushrooms are starting to sweat a little bit. That's what you want. You want to open up those flavors. It smells really good. So you want to open up that flavor a little bit. It's been about 10 to 12 minutes, and our mushrooms are sweating. They're starting to look like they're cooking a little bit. Those onions are browning slightly. So now it's time to add our herb bouquet, our bay leaf, and our peppercorn and allspice, listorovie, and the zieleniowski, the bay leaves, and the allspice. Well, also to that, we're going to add that 2 cups of mushroom reserve liquid. Okay, we're going to turn it up a little bit because we want to start boiling it. All right, we're going to do that. And again, if you don't have the mushroom sauce, you can use a vegetable broth, which is the best recommended, and then chicken would be the ultimate. And then we have our garlic. We're going to add that in there. Okay. And our half teaspoon of sea salt. All right, we're going to put that one. It's a little bit much because you got to be careful with sea salt. It is very strong. We could always add more later, and we probably will. So we are going to get that boiling. And first of all, we're going to mix it up. Okay, again, the toss. I like tossing that, okay. Those herbs are going to come out. Those herbs are going to start blending in that mixture. And we will be done very, very soon. Now, first, we're gonna bring it up to a boil, okay? Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down and simmer for 20 minutes. And you see that herb is in there. That herb is going to start coming out. Infusing in there. Okay, our flavors all going to start infusing. Okay. First, bring up to boil, then simmer it down for 20 minutes. As I mentioned, you see it didn't take long. It actually took about less than 30 seconds. I just turned I pushed the stop button, and sure enough, so quickly it came to a boil. So we're going to turn it down. We're going to turn the heat down. See, play with it a little bit, and we're going to set the clock for 20 minutes. We're going to simmer it. 20 minutes. I'm a rebel. 21. Ah. Of course, during that time of the 20 minutes of simmering, you definitely want to toss it around a little bit, okay? Keep it nice and evenly mixed. Those flavors merging together. You want that bay leaf, and you want those
Those earthy flavors of that thyme, lemon thyme, and rosemary come on out. The bay leaf, lisztorowe, the peppercorns, and the allspice, the ziel angielski, to come together and help us make this Sos Grzybowy.
As that 20 minutes of sauteing continues, you see the mushrooms are getting darker. The herbs are starting to emit and smell. So those herbs are coming out. I'm using my hands while I talk, so I'm going to show you, But those herbs are coming out. The flavors are coming out. They're integrating together. And gosh, it smells so wonderful, earthy, and there's a little bit of sweetness in there. I don't know where it comes from, maybe the onions, but it's so wonderful. It's all coming together. It's all coming together as one. Yeah, so those herbs, that herb bouquet, that the bay leaves, the garlic, the onions, it's all coming together. It's just so nice. You got to keep stirring it. Okay, we got about 7 more minutes on that saute, or on that simmer, but it's coming together. The mushrooms are getting darker. It's so beautiful. You see that sweat? You see that? Oh my God, it's so great. So you remember our little loving couple? Remember they were touching? They're still I cannot separate these two. Flour and water. Okay, remember that? Well, we're going to mix those together, and that's going to make the agent that's going to make our sauce thicker. So, here we go. Flour. I know they were separated for like half a second, but I know but now they're going to come together. They're going to come together. And we're going to make that into a thickening sauce. We're going to whisk that. Whisk that cold water. Remember, water, flour equal glue. See that? Whoops, still a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna whisk that together. And when that saute is done, we're gonna add that with it. Add this mixture to it. It's gonna thicken our sauce. Then we're gonna add our cream. That also is gonna make it thick. It's going to make it a sauce. It's going to saucify. You see that? So there you have it. See it? Those loving couples, we couldn't keep them separated. Now they're finally together and inseparable. Gotta love inseparable couples. All right? There you go. Be back. So it has been about 20 minutes, as you can see. Look close. The liquid's mostly gone. That simmer brought out a lot of flavors. Brought them together. And now we're going to add it to the sauce pot. Well, first let me turn the sauce pot on. Turn the heat on there, okay? We're going to turn that sauce pot on. Okay, now we're going to turn the heat off of the original one so I don't... So we're going to put that in the saucepan, okay? There's our mushroom mixture with our herbs, our herb bouquet. It's still in there. We're going to pull that herb bouquet out when we're done cooking it. Okay. Out of the way. So we have that in there. We have it up on a medium-high heat because we're going to bring it to a boil. Before we add it to a boil, we're going to add our 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. And then remember our little loving couple? Remember our loving couple of flour and water? We're going to put it in there, and that's going to help thicken things up. And, of course, the miracle of the saucepan, because things in saucepan they make sauce. I mean, come on. So, the miracle of the existence of the saucepan. You know? We have it any other way. We're going to stir that together. Let me get you a visual on that. Let me get you on that. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, my little chubby hands and fingers getting away. All right, there we go. And there's our sauce. We are going to boil that up. We're going to bring it to a boil. Let it simmer. Now we're going to run that until it boils. Okay, so we're going to let it bring up the temperature. See, there's our herb bouquet. Bouquet. Okay. All right. I got to admit something. You notice that looks different than when I put it in. Yes, it was a little less liquidy than I wanted because the cream and that flour and water combination is going to thicken it. I did need to add a little bit more
liquid, and that's more of my mushroom reserve stock there. And also, I just want to let you know, when you reconstitute mushrooms, you see I have like something there, and I have something there. I'm going to make mushroom soup with that. So always save your water from the reconstituted mushrooms. But you see, I added a little bit, maybe about half a cup more of the sauce, the mushroom juice, we'll call it, from the extracted. But there you go. We're going to bring that to a boil, and then it'll be finished. Also, at this point, you want to taste it a little bit, which I love tasting. So, and yeah, it does need a little bit more salt. So we're going to go to our little salt there. We're going to add a little more shakes to it. Remember, sea salt, you can take it out, but you can always put more in. So be careful. It's always always better to start easy and work your way in. But I like that a little bit. And you know what we're going to do? Because that's the way we like things, I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. I'm going to add some fresh ground pepper to that. Little salt, little pepper. Okay? There you go. Let it boil up. And we're going to let that boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. Of course, while it's boiling, stir, stir, stir. Okay? And when it's all done, we're going to pull those herbs out. We're going to pull that herb bouquet out. We're going to try and get the lisztorowe, the bay leaves out. You can try and pick out the zieleń, the allspice, and the black pepper, the czarnego pieprz, out of there. You can try that. But definitely want to get as much of the big stuff as you want out of it. But generally, you're looking at what you eat anyway. So you'll notice if there's something there that's not palatable. It's been going on for about 4 minutes. You see, it is thickened up. We're going to take out our Bouquet. Thank you, Bouquet. You have been very good to us. Thank you. Thank you, Bouquet. It really did add some flavor. You could smell that. You can smell it light citrusy. Now, I like to leave the bay leaves in. Why? Why, Joe? Why do you like to leave the bouquets in? The lisztorowe's in? Because you know what? They always leave them in Poland, and if you get them served on your plate, that's considered good luck. So it's like a little way of adding charm. And remember I said every good sauce and gravy has a little butter in it. I love butter. So we're going to toss that in. And we're going to say, that is your Sos Grzybowy. We want to thank you very much for watching this. And remember, this is a part of a 3-part series. There's going to be Kotlet Mielony and Pierogi Leniwe. And that's what this sauce is going to be made for. And if you like what you see, please subscribe to this channel that I have. I like to make as much authentic food as I can, trying to make it fun for you, trying to explain some things. But hey, check it out. And once again, I really thank you for watching. And how can I forget? SMACZNEGO!